Welcome back, everyone, to Piney Plays a Stout Minstrel. We have come into the Oath Taker's Horn, where the fire horns are now our enemies because they have decided to follow some crazy scheme of trying to get back the old Dwarven ring, which, considering all that Sauron has done relating to rings, is probably not the wisest action to do. But rings do tend to bring out the stuffed cabbage. Item level, good grief. It shows you how much I keep up to date the food on this character. And so far, I have found absolutely no real difference in how this questline goes, based on whether you are a Stout Axe or any other type of character. Except, of course, for the when they just replace your... Oh, because that was for Smiths. Yes, I was wondering, what? How is that the first one? Because obviously the first two were guards, and the guards don't count, apparently. So we have to deal with these Smiths, who are trying to use their forges for evil. Are you ready? So let's... And we need to take care of the intimidated Stout Axes and tell them that we can have freedom if you go outside. How can the king not see? The ring is cursed! Well, that's pretty much the case. In some ways, I think the king is also cursed, which is probably part of the problem. Because Sauron certainly did quite some nasty stuff to him. And that's the trouble with those rings. Ooh, and we have some weapon racks we need to deal with also. Well, I think we'll need to deal with those also. Not that they can't make new ones. Well, I guess if we deal with all their smiths, we could. Gonna deal with the weapon racks. Weapon racks. And looks like another intimidated Stout Axe we've got there. So we could free them all. Break their shackles, so to speak. There you go. Just get out of here. Some madness has taken the king. Your kin, yeah. And I don't think that did too much to douse the forge, but maybe it'll ruin it a little bit. Meanwhile, let's take care of more of these. So what all do we have to do? We do have to find Versting in all of this while we're at it. Yeah. Well, it was worth a shot. I think this is the only point in the game where you can attack the Forge Master. Ever want to attack a Forge Master because of all those allies that you had to take to them to get reforged? This is your opportunity. Your one opportunity to attack a Forge Master. Usually you're on the same side as the vendors. There you go. And I still need to find Versting. If we're going to beat up on the Forge Master, we might as well do the same thing to the Relic Master. We can't make them think that we're having favorites or anything like that, right? Yeah. There you go. And that's the last of that bit. No, we still need to find this first thing. I'm guessing this first thing is going to be downstairs. Question is or is it upstairs? Whichever way, probably upstairs. Whichever direction it is, that's the way we need to go. Actually, I think I passed it along the way. I still haven't found this first thing anywhere. What's this? Tools of persuasion. I'm sorry, Pinefeeder, but my duty is to my king! Oh, well, I found the first thing. And I don't think he can be persuaded. He seems to be wanting to do persuading of other people. And not in a very nice and kindly way either. I fight you to the death, Pinefeeder! Regrettably, his first thing could not be turned from his loyalty to King Greytooth. Oh well. Now let's find Jury, Nath, and Frankie. Let's see. And I think that they will be downstairs most likely. Ah, looks like I found Dreary. Hello there.
My name's Agate Eye.
It was not supposed to be like this. Those who would not follow Voskum were slain by Aether and the others, and now all I have are these stones to which to remember them. Yeah, well... Alright, how about that? Now... Alright, you were saying again, Dreary? Yes. Oh, what have I done? Where is the honor among my people? Whether Monthrief holds any power or not, it has brought greater ruin upon our people than even Sauron could have devised. Gimli spoke true, but the truth came too late to save my kin. What about Nath and Freki? Freki's dead. But Nath should be around here somewhere. And I shall join Gimli's folk, but first I must mourn my own. Well, there is that. And now to find a few more of these and to find Nath. There you go. Whew. I think I found Nath. Is he being tied to the door? The door that they're still hammering it shut. They really want to keep that thing sealed, don't they? There you go. That's one down. It's two down. Whew.
All is well, and yet not all.
Looks like nothing's well. Fire horns! Bah! These dwarves are no kin of mine. Say what you will of her. At least Zorth never chained us to the doors. What sort of dwarf treats his own kin so thoughtlessly? Neither of us, I would think. You and Gimli have seen much beyond these lands, and if this is what my home has now become, I should like to follow you where you go and leave this land behind. It is good to be out of these chains, my friend, but I cannot leave just yet. There is what one of these doors would do. Yeah. What? For the honor of my family and my fallen kin, I shall gather what remains of the stout axes and find them a place for the rest of the low hills of Dormarth. Okay. Now I need to confront Eater. Now where will Eater be? Maybe upstairs or some other place? Is Eater anywhere up here? Well, We do have a locker here. Came back to steal the king's mithril, have you? I think not. I found Ether. I'll see what we could do about him. There you go. There you go. Wait, what is that green stuff? Ugh. Oh, even the lickspittle eater's eagerness to forsake his allegiances brought him to a sorry end. Oh, ever the lickspittle. Okay. Ah, now, Sparkorth and Gimli. What should have been a time of joy for my people has instead become a time of great sorrow. Zverting was a fine dwarf, and I'm saddened that he could not be made to see the madness of his king. As for Aeter, he was just as swift to seek Zora's favor. He was naught but a lickspittle, no matter his master. Such behavior does not befit any proud dwarf. Aside from Noth and Dreary, I saw only a handful of my people leave the spire for the western ruins. Poor Freki should have been among them, but Voskun's petty firehorns raised their axes against him. He has put his own foolish greed before the needs of his folk, and I shall never forgive him for that. Even so, I must speak to him once more. Where is he? Where is he? It was not an easy task, but I have brought Sparkworth hither unharmed. Where is Voskmund? Ah, I tell Gimli and Voskmund that Voskmund has led an army of firehorns into the plains of Dor Amarth. Bah! We came all this way to stop his quest, but we haven't stopped a thing. Not a thing. Oh, well. That's the problem. Actually, I guess this is the one I want. We're too late, Pineveer. I wish it had not come to this. These were fine dwarves, like those of our people, and they did not deserve such a sorry fate. Even after his downfall, Sauron has brought his ruin upon our folk, distant as they were to our people. Well, maybe more distant to yours. The ring twisted Voskman's mind, and now his people share his obsession with wielding his power, whatever remains of it, that is. Where now has Voskman led them? To ruin, surely. But there in his blasted land does he now search for the dwarf ring? Wait a moment. Zora kept many notes in her own search of the rings, didn't she? We are here in her old chambers, so let us search for them. With all that has happened, I should say they'll be more use to us. Find her notes. Here's a research just lying about. At least she put something on it so it won't fly away. This page lists the names of 7 dwarf rings, but 4 are marked with unsettling notes. She was researching dwarf rings in general, apparently. What else do we find? This page makes note of the key King Greytooth bore during his imprisonment. Alright. I guess probably a key to the lockbox where the ring was kept. So he has the key, but not the box. That would be the way Sauron will really twist him and tie him. This page marks references to a passage within Barad-dûr that leads into Morgoth. This page speaks of a vault within the depths of the black pits of Mordoth. Well, definitely not going to Mordoth, that's for sure. Well, this is what I found. What have you learned? I beg you, let me see those pages. When at last he's able to come to the names of the 4 rings that bear Zorath's marks, he seems at least stunned. What is this?
Our fortunes are lost and our people broken.
Have you read what I have, Pineveer? Devoured? What sort of creature could have devoured 4 of the dwarf rings? Well, I've heard that dragons devoured a few. Surely Sauron would have slain them at once for such an offense. Yes, the key around the key's neck. Sauron gave Voskman the key and deceived him into believing that the Mithril lockbox was all that stood between him and reclaiming Manthri for his folk. It is likely never within, and who can say where it might be now? As Zorath has written, the Order of the Eye has learned much of the Mordath through their expeditions in the deep dungeons of Barad-dûr. I thought they toiled for the return of the Dark Lord, but this vault she has written of, this is what must have drawn them into Barad-dûr. None but the Gurzu, the Deathless, may have ever known of such a vault, and what would be kept guarded within so far beneath the earth? A great abyss has sunken into the Mordoth in the north of Barad-dûr, and the Order thinks it is an omen that Sauron's secrets are to be laid bare for the most loyal of his servants. If there remains any chance of finding Manthri, Voskmoon shall lead the Firehorns into the abyss. Patrol the mouth of the abyss, and see if Voskman and the Firehorns have left any sign of their descent. For my part, I shall study more Zorath's research, with Gimli's protection, of course. Once we depart for the spire, I shall send him to meet you in the abyss, and I shall travel far away from this place. Travel to the mouth of the abyss of Mordoth. Oh, fun. And if you thought the rest of Mordor was bad, this place really looks horrendous. So this is Mordath, or at least the entrance to it. Now let's see if we can find out what's here. Other than a great deal of fire, apparently. Even more than usual. Ooh. Is there anything that I can find here that's going to give me useful information about Greytooth and the Firehorns? Is this the way that they went? Or is that the way? Oh, well, that's certainly not the way. I have found the abyss. You find no evidence that the Firehorns traveled this way, but you suddenly hear a familiar voice nearby. What? Gimli. Hello. This is a mighty big chasm, Pineveer. Sauron's sorcery must have been holding more than this tower together. So, they have not come this way then? Good. After studying more of Zorath's notes, Sparkhorth has learned of a new passage into the dungeons of Barad-dûr. And even better, it is not one of much use to those cultists in the tower. Yes, that's right. We're gonna go down right here. If Zorath's notes are correct, there should be a rocky landing about 20 yards down. If they weren't, well, at least we'll find out just how deep the abyss is. Yes. Well, are you coming, Pinebeard? I would hate to go on such an adventure by myself. What are we going to find down there? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays a Stout Minstrel.